The unemployment rate is currently sitting at 32.7%, and that can easily become any one of us. In 2021, I was faced with the prospect of a potential job loss. The company that I was working for at the time was retrenching, and they wanted all of us to apply for our jobs again. Then they would decide who got to stay. Although unemployment is mostly about not finding a job or getting retrenched, sometimes you make the choice to be unemployed because of a toxic work situation. And planning for such events ensures stability and a lack of panic. So in light of that, here are 5 things that are part of my unemployment survival guide. If I lost my job today, the first thing I would do is determine how long I would be able to survive without a job. So the first thing I would do is determine the bare minimum I need in fixed expenses. And this is what that looks like for me. I would stop all saving and investing, but I wouldn't cash out my investments. And this would also ensure that my investments continue to grow even when I'm not working. I would also stop my church giving, and also I would cut down my nanny's hours by half, so she would only work 4 hours a day. I would also downgrade my bank account and see if I can also get cheaper car insurance. However, my life cover, my funeral cover, and my child's education insurance, I would continue to pay for. So my bare minimum budget would be around 20,600 Rand, which is what I would need every month to be able to survive. And based on my calculations against my savings, I would be able to survive for a year and 4 months. In a situation where maybe I wouldn't have enough money to work with, I would consider asking for a payment holiday for things like my bond, which is currently the only debt that I have. Now, the second thing that I would do is do everything that's in my power to get a job. This would entail getting my CV in the best shape possible by ensuring that I actually spend time looking at content around CVs and improving my CV. This would also entail identifying all the high traffic job sites and ensuring that I set up alerts so that I get notified every time there's a new job that is related to my career. So that would be the likes of LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Indeed, PNet, Career Junction, Careers24, those ones. And creating profiles also on those sites as well. I would also then follow recruiters in my field on LinkedIn and also ensure that I create profiles on their websites as well. I would also subscribe to LinkedIn for 1 month so that I can be able to message recruiters and my contacts who are in my field. I would also reach out to recruiters that have contacted me in the past to see if they have any posts that they can recommend me for. I would also reach out to previous colleagues and also see if they can recommend me for more jobs as well. And then I would also spend time scrolling on my LinkedIn feed to see jobs that recruiters advertise in their posts. The third thing that I would do is find other ways to make money. And how I would approach this is 2 ways. First, by listing all of the skills that I have and how I can use them, and then also listing all of the resources that I have that I can also use. The first skill that I've identified is the skill of teaching or tutoring. So I used to be a tutor in varsity, and I also used to be a volunteer teacher. So I can teach things like English or things like maths. So what I would do is actually create a poster and advertise my services here at my complex and also in church groups and my status to be able to find clients. The next skill that I have is the skill of IT auditing, which is my profession. So this is something that I can actually do independently as an independent contractor. And due to the knowledge that I have acquired in my profession, I could also do lecturing. The next skill that I have is my understanding of personal finance. So what I can do is actually create short courses and sell them to people. For example, creating a guide on how to use Easy Equities step by step and actually monetizing it. The next skill is content creation. So what I could do is actually document my journey of unemployment, document my journey of trying to get employment, and create a whole YouTube channel about it and literally monetize my life. I could also offer the service of editing other people's content. The next skill is childcare. Now, this one is because I have a child myself, so I am capable of taking care of a child. So what I could do is actually babysit for other people, especially here in the complex that I live in. The next skill is cleaning. As a female child, you know that we've been cleaning since we were kids. So this is also something that I could offer to do, especially also in my complex, where I could actually go and clean people's apartments. Or even offer a service like doing people's laundry or washing people's shoes, which could be like a drop-off and pick-up service within the complex. Those are the things I could do with the skills I already have. Maybe on your side, you're good at makeup, you're good at installing wigs, and you could actually make that a service. The second part of this would be listing all the resources that I already have that I could also use to make money. The first one is my car. So with a car, I can actually offer a drop-off service for children, especially where I'm living. I could also consider getting into Uber. The second resource I have is my 2-bedroom apartment. So in order to make money, I could rent out the other room and then get income out of that. The third resource that I have is money. Because I have a lump sum of savings, I could actually use that money to create more money. For instance, I could consider renting a vending machine and trying it out where I stay. Somebody actually asked if people would be interested in that in our complex, and the response was actually positive. Another thing that I could do is offer the service of packing children's lunches. A colleague of mine was actually sharing that she's actually outsourcing that at the moment and how much it is saving her time. So that is also something that I could potentially get into by just buying the supplies and getting ideas of what to pack from TikTok. And there you have it, an income. Another thing is also looking into things that are seasonal. Right now it's cold and people want vetkoeks. So I could consider making magwinyas in the morning and going and standing at the gate as people exit and selling them those vetkoeks. The next resource I have is people and relationships. Now, I actually got this idea this morning when I had gas delivered, and I was thinking to myself, I could easily become a middleman for somebody else's business, right? By just getting this person customers and then earning a commission off of the customers that I get. Right now, it's cold and people are busy ordering gas. There's somebody I know who delivers gas that I use, and I could actually try and find 10 people in the complex that also want to have gas delivered to their door, and then he can do that while he delivers for me, and then I could get the commission of getting him customers. Next thing is creating a routine or structure. One of the things that our jobs give us is structure and routine. And when you take that away, it's very easy to fall into depression. So to curb that, it's very important to create a structure of how your days are going to look. So for me, this is why having a nanny is actually pivotal even if I'm unemployed. I would need somebody who can take care of my son while I actually get busy with the work that I want to do, the stuff in step number 3. So I would probably have 4 hours where I'm fully dedicated to that working stuff and making the money. And then the 4 hours that I'm actually with my son during the day would be the time that I would use to then apply for jobs and also create a bit of time for self-care and doing things that I enjoy. Then the last step would be identifying a marketable skill that I can acquire or a viable business plan. One skill that will never go out of fashion is selling. So I would definitely learn the skill of selling and learn how marketing works. Then after that, I would identify a product that somebody else is already selling that's doing well that I can sell. There's things like wigs that are really doing well in the market right now, but I'm not really a wig person. I would really have to learn about them to be able to make a successful business out of that, because words like frontal and closure mean nothing to me. I would also consider getting skills in data science and skills in cloud computing, because these are currently the marketable IT skills. And lastly, I would actually consider starting my own IT auditing company and then applying for government funding. Government is really big on funding female-owned businesses at the moment, so I think this would be a viable option. But even if I couldn't get funding, an IT audit company is not something that really needs a lot of infrastructure to start, because you're actually selling a service. I came to realize during one of our tender processes that there really is a gap in the market when it comes to IT audit companies, and that's also because a lot of other businesses outsource this. I hope you found this video to be helpful, and hopefully it gave you some ideas as well. My encouragement to you, if you are currently unemployed, is that refuse to do nothing and be willing to do anything, even if it seems very lowly. I heard Tepi Baby say the other day, in the absence of a plan, you are bound to fail. So create a plan.